I'd like to go ahead and call the Chickasha City Council order. Need a roll call, please.
Irving.
Here.
Ginn.
Here.
Hebblethwaite.
Here.
Smith.
Present.
Alexander.
Here.
Burris.
Here.
Southard.
Present.
Grayson.
Here, we'll have the opening prayer by Erica and the pledge by John.
Please join me in prayer. Father God, we come before you tonight and ask for wisdom and discernment as we handle the city's business. We thank you for your constant protection and guidance as we steward what you have laid out before us. Lord, we pray for safety for all of those who stand in service, both domestically and foreignly, and on foreign ground, and bring everyone home safely to their families at the end of their shifts. Lord, we ask for peace in our nation and for your spirit to settle upon us all. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to citizen comments. I don't have any. We'll move on to item 3, council communications. We'll start off with Judge Chaffin will administer the oath of office to the newly promoted Lieutenant Chad King, and then we'll have another oath of office where Sergeants Vaughn and Sergeant Freeman will have their swearing in as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Stand right there and raise your right hand, please. Swear after me, please. I, Chad Aaron King, having been duly appointed a lieutenant for the Chickasha Police Department in the city of Chickasha, county of Grady, state of Oklahoma, do solemnly swear that I will defend, enforce, and obey the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, the state of Oklahoma, and the ordinances of the city of Chickasha. I will obey the lawful orders of my superior officers and the regulations of the city of Chickasha and the police department. That I will faithfully discharge my duties and responsibilities as a citizen of the United States. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. This I do solemnly swear this 15th day of September, 2025. Congratulations. Thanks. Get in there, boy.
We have Sergeants Vaughn and Sergeant Freeman.
All right, gentlemen, if you raise your right hands, please. I, and state your name. Having been duly appointed a sergeant for the Chickasha Police Department. In the city of Chickasha, county of Grady, state of Oklahoma. Do solemnly swear that I will defend, enforce, and obey the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, the state of Oklahoma, and the ordinances of the city of Chickasha. I will obey the lawful orders of my superior officers and the regulations of the city of Chickasha and the police department. That I will faithfully discharge my duties and responsibilities as a citizen of the United States. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. This I do solemnly swear this 15th day of September, 2025. Congratulations. You're welcome. I can take these for you. Okay, guys, thank you.
Congratulations to the three of you. I know it was hard-earned.
Appreciate your service to the community, our citizens.
Who gets a new Explorer? Do we have any other council communications?
Go ahead.
Whoever.
So if I may, Mr. Mayor and everybody in the room, I just want to give a shout out to the Public Works Department. About a month and a half ago, residents in my ward had talked about flooding caused by an easement that was clogged up and had been clogged up for 20 years. So they have been, in the last week or so, working with excavators and the sun and mosquitoes and the rain that comes and goes, and finally are complete with that mission. And it's really a great thing that they've done. So everybody along, it's actually Flanders Road to the end of the street there. Those folks were all thankful for the work of the folks in the Public Works, and I just wanted to make that public. So there you go.
Thank you, Clark.
You bet. Sure, I guess you're,
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. I'm I'll go ahead and speak up. Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to speak of something that I learned this afternoon of a man's passing that had served our community very, very well. I think he was a former city attorney, and his name was Tom Fraley. So it was years ago. Just thought that worthy of mention today that we lost a friend there.
Very much so. Thank you, Charlie.
I'd like to say, a few of us spent a couple days last week at the Oklahoma Municipal League Conference and, met a lot of other city officials, mayors, city managers, clerks, all kinds of different positions within the city. And the resounding message was only good about Chickasha, was, what are you guys doing? Everybody wants to find out what that was one of the jokes, was what's in the water in Chickasha. And, but in a good way. So that is only something that happens when we're all working together for the best possible future of the city, that our reputation becomes so positive other places and they want to know what we're doing. So I just thought it was really, really special to hear from so many different people and leaders at other cities across the state.
No, Erica, you're exactly right, and I'm sure you had a couple of epiphanies there, like I do every time I go, and you hear of another municipality that has an issue and how they solved it. And you're like, we could have probably applied that here,
Yeah.
And it's. I've said it before, and I'll say it a million times. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel; we're just trying to make it rounder. There has been problems solved by other communities, and we just have to reach out and find those solutions. And if they're applicable here, apply them, and if they're not, find our own ways around the challenges. So
Yeah.
I know Clark was there. Erica
Yep,
went.
great conference.
Yeah, I was there. I think Susan was there.
Shay,
Jessica was there, even
Jim.
though not in the capacity of City of Chickasha, but Sherry was there, of course. Jim was there. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Those are the ones I saw. Anything else? Ladies and gentlemen?
I have something.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily city-related, but I just, in acknowledging some passing of some staples in our community. This past couple of weeks, we lost a couple of great healthcare providers. I'm sure a lot of people in here know Dr. Joe Bledsoe and Dr. Don Hess, and been affected by them some way, some point in your life. The two of them together combined wonderful healthcare for over a century for Chickasha. So
Anything else before we move on? Well, let's move on to item 4, consent docket.
Mr. Mayor, would you remove item G for separate consideration, please?
Item G. That's something that we had a motion, a second to vote on, right? Or yeah. All right, Charlie's got a motion. Do I have a second to remove G?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. That being said, I entertain a motion to approve the consent docket minus item G.
Motion to approve consent docket, removing item G.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Is this for G?
No, this is for the rest of the items.
Oh, okay. Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Abstain?
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. All right, item 4G. Entertain a motion on that one.
Motion to approve item G as written.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Abstain.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6A, discussion and consideration of possible action to accept the financial audit for fiscal year ending June 30, 2023.
Make a motion that we accept the financial audit for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023.
I can second that.
Presentation for the audit. The auditor's here.
The auditor's here.
Yeah,
Nick, call the auditor, please.
we can do that under the discussion portion.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Andy Cromer. I'm a CPA and a shareholder with HSPG. We're a CPA firm out of Oklahoma City, and we've audited the city's financial statements. I believe this is our third year, either our second or third year to audit the city. And this is for June 30th of 2023. So this is, 2 years and a month or so in the rearview mirror. So obviously, clearly, the information in here is dated. It's at this point just something somebody needs to say they got it, and they can check a box and put it in the cabinet. But do want to just take a brief minute and go over a few things with you all. First of all, there's two firms involved. There's us, HSPG, we're the auditors. There's another firm out of Oklahoma City, Crawford and Associates, that helps you all get ready for the audit. They help probably throughout the year, and certainly year end. They give us schedules, they write the report, they give it to us to review, but we are different firms, different ownership, different contracts, different everything. So just know there are two different firms involved. As far as our work in this document, the Crawfords write it, we review it, and do a whole bunch of testing to support what's in here. But our opinion is in here, and it's a clean opinion that says these numbers are materially correct. So that's what you're gonna wanna see whenever you hand it to somebody. That's what they're gonna wanna see. So certainly that's good. A couple things that I usually will look at, just from a big picture, how are you all doing? One is, how is your general fund doing, and how's the utility authority doing? So those are clearly the two dominant activities or funds. So for the general fund, usually I'll look and see what kind of reserves do you all have? Whether you call it reserves or fund balance or rainy day funds, any of those words are interchangeable for this discussion. But it's your unrestricted reserves. It's available to do what you all want to do and how you all want to budget it. And so one way we can look at it is think of your own personal life, and if you're to lose your job and have no income at all, how long could you survive on your reserves? And so for local government, we like to say 1 to 3 or 4 months is kind of a good rule of thumb. So your reserves are about 4 months of your annual income, of annual income. So that's on the high end of what we like to see, so that's solid. I think that's a very good position to be in. The utility authority, you all in 2022, again, this is years ago, but in 2022, just your daily operations posted about a $600,000 or $700,000 loss. And then in 23, you implemented or had about a 10%, there's various buckets that all have different percentages, but overall, it's roughly about a 10% increase. And so that helped turn it into a small profit of about $150,000. So it's on the right side of zero now. The other thing maybe just to point out is you do have an EMS fund that accounts for those activities. And during 23, it had a loss. The general fund subsidized it and brought it back essentially to zero, but it came into the year with about a $650,000 negative fund balance, or below zero. And so it's still a negative $650,000. So at some point, we'll get to that in a second, but the first thing is state statute says thou shalt not have negative fund balances. So that's needs to be addressed at some point, but just know that's there. That's the number, so obviously if you all have seen something, stop me and ask me. But there's also one other report, two at the back of this. The first report's required by the state, and it's got two sections one's on internal control and one's on compliance. And so if we saw any sins in either one of those two areas, it would be in that report. And we've got 4 comments there. The second report is only required if you expend over $750,000 in federal awards. And so oftentimes you all don't get that. This year you did in 23, primarily because of all the COVID money that was flowing through back then. And so there's about $500,000 that was spent related to that, if you recall ARPA and that award. That hit in '23, and so that's what pushed you over the threshold. So anyway, we have to do additional compliance work just over those federal grants. And so we did have one comment related to that, which is really simply related to it wasn't done timely. The audit wasn't done timely, because here I am just now issuing the report. But as far as the day-to-day operations, there were no findings with the grants. It was just the timeliness of it. So as far as the comments, if you want to just go to the very end and then work your way back a bit, or I'll just briefly go over them. The first one, we had to, and again, we issued our 22 report. I don't recall, but it probably been the end of last year, the first part of this year, somewhere around in there. So 23 had already been dead and gone by the time you all received 22's report. So there really was no chance to address any of this. But this is still, it's a repeat from the 22 audit. The fact that in 22, you had the authority or the ability, an employee had the ability to go to the bank and request a cashier's check, or, just a check that the bank makes out payable to somebody, and it only required one city employee signature. And so, your controls on normal checks already takes 2 signatures, but you could bypass this, go straight to the bank, have them write a check, and it only took 1 signature. And so that needs to be stopped. Yes, sir.
Sir, I just wanted to point out, we're on page 62, if everybody's
Yes,
catching up or
thank you,
not.
thank you.
Okay.
So, again, this is a couple years old, so whether that's still the case, I don't know, but it was the case back here. The next comment, we talked about, the EMS has that negative $660,000 fund balance, which is in violation of state law. The third comment's kind of a catch-all comment, and this can come and go, and it more comes and goes when you have turnover in staff, which has been the case here in the past couple of years. But there's just a general, I guess, lack of segregation of duties, or maybe even just proper controls and reviews. So at the simplest, you might think of, there's a procedure and then there's a control. So doing a bank reconciliation is a procedure, it's not a control. The control would be to somebody then review that bank reconciliation. A procedure would be doing payroll. A review or a control would be reviewing by somebody else that payroll is correct. And so it's things like that that we're just not seeing done. And so, yeah, maybe the thing is happening, but there's no control or no one coming in. Sometimes you can build processes naturally to where things cross-check naturally. Sometimes you just gotta say, person A, you need to review what person B did when it's a big enough event or transaction like payroll or utility billings. So that's comment number 3. The fourth comment, which is also, I believe, a carryover from last year, is, and I believe I've heard from a couple of people that hopefully this has been corrected in 24 or 25, somewhere after this, but we compare your water billings to your revenue. We also compare what you billed in gallons to what the water plant says they pumped. And it's never gonna be a one-to-one. We don't expect it to be a one-to-one relationship. It leaks, it evaporates, well, who knows what all. But we expect that relationship to be somewhat consistent over time. And so that's what we're looking for. But in your case, we can't really make heads or tails of it to begin with. It's just the numbers don't make sense, and you get into it, and it looks like there's these conversions. When you read the meter, or you gotta convert it by 10 or 100 or 1,000, and it just gets really confusing really quickly. And so that's just a problem. And so I believe I've been told it's been fixed, but I haven't seen it yet. So hopefully we can report back in 24 on that. But any questions on that before the last one?
Yeah, I do, if I may. And it's the use of the language there, I guess. You said that these have not been addressed. That's to 25, or it wasn't addressed then?
It wasn't addressed back at this point.
That's-
Right. So
okay.
we've done no work, I
All
want to be clear, we have done no work on these since 2023.
All right.
So, I mean, we're doing it in 2025. I mean, that's when we're sitting here talking to people and asking questions, but we're all stuck in the review mirror, unfortunately.
Yes, sir.
But I think you said earlier, that we went over the controls on the 2022 audit, but we wouldn't have had time to implement them till about, 2024? Because that's when we had this
Right.
discussion. So,
Right.
I mean, you're exactly right. We won't see any adjustments till we do the 24, 25.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, I'd have to think if even 24 would be reasonable. I'm not sure.
I did have a question on the EMS fund. You said we ended 22 with a $650,000 deficit,
Right?
and then we ended 23 with a $650,000.
That was in the ambulance service, sir.
Right.
Right.
And then you said we made the difference up with the general fund?
Well, so you came into the year with a deficit, and then
Right.
what did you do during the year? Did the deficit get bigger or smaller or stay the same? Well, the deficit really stayed the same.
Right.
So you ended the year with about the same amount of deficit.
But my question is, if we made the difference up with the general fund, is
Well,
that,
right,
would
just
that
to
enter
keep-
us into fiscal year 24 at a zero balance?
Right. So just to maintain, just to break even for that 1 year, the general fund had to help out. It didn't cut into the overall deficit at
So
all.
theoretically, if we run the same in fiscal year 24 as we did in 23, we should end up with a zero balance.
Right, for that year.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so the very last comment I alluded to, but these federal awards say this report has to be submitted 9 months after year end. So clearly, we're not 9 months after year end, so that's that comment. Okay, so this report here is what you will hand out to this has to be filed to the state auditor. If you issue a bond, this is what they're gonna wanna see. That's this document here. We also have a second document it's just, mine's stapled, so yours probably is too. It's a 2-page letter. These have some additional comments that we didn't feel raised to the level of needing to go in here. So this won't get handed out to anybody but you all, but we wanted to make you all aware of some things. And I remember a couple of these from last year, so again, you haven't had time to correct them. But the first one is your bank accounts. You have over 50 bank accounts. So just imagine trying to reconcile those. And I wish we would have put these in order. We didn't, but the very last comment on page 2 says, hey, one of these 50 accounts had an error in the reconciliation. And the error relates to writing checks from one bank account to the other, because you got to move money from over here to spend it, and then you move it back, and you're just chasing your tail, and if nothing else, it just leads to unnecessary complications. And so it would have been nice if we could have put those together so you could see there's a relation to having that many bank accounts and getting stuff wrong. Not to mention all the time it takes just to do them all. So that's that comment. The next one, collateral. So if you all understand that cities and towns are required to have your bank collateralize your money. So what that means is FDIC covers your deposits up to $250,000. Most places will have more than that. And so if a city or town has more than that at the bank, then you all are required to have your bank provide collateral. So if the bank goes out of business, you're provided, or you get all your money back. You're not standing in line with everybody else trying to get pennies on your dollar. So it's not the bank's job to do it, it's your job to make the bank do it. And so not only do you have to have it collateralized, but state statutes also say the bank has to use certain things to collateralize it with. So those certain things in broad terms are debt issued by the U.S. government, U.S. Treasury notes, things like that. It could be bonds of the state of Oklahoma, or debt issued by other, political entities within the state. So school districts, other cities and towns, so Tulsa. But you can't use a school district or a city in Texas. It has to be within Oklahoma. And so we noticed one bank was using, I think it was school debt issued from a place in Texas or California, I don't recall where. So you had enough, it just didn't meet the literal definition of what the state statute said it had to be. And so I think it's just, hey, bank, this is what we're required to have, help us out here. And hopefully the bank can help you resolve that. Now, the next comment, stale checks. We see this, I think, virtually everywhere we go, if not everywhere. It's just how much is it? But, certainly I would say once a check, you write a check and after a year it hasn't been cashed, chances are it's not going to be cashed. And really the bank shouldn't even cash it if all of a sudden it appeared. I think they say after 90 days we won't honor a check. So the next question then becomes, well, what do we do with it? And that's probably why it never gets addressed. And so we saw about $60,000 or so of these old checks. So it's not a huge amount, but it is starting to accumulate. So I guess the first thing is figure out, what do we have to do? You know, you always hear, well, do you have to return it to the state and they put it in this unclaimed property fund? Is it for some other reason and you don't have to send it back? Or maybe you just need to write a new check and call them and say, hey, you never got your check. Whatever it is, I would say develop a policy and then deal with them. So again, it's not a huge amount, but it is probably starting to get enough to start thinking about what do we do. The next one, policies and procedures. This deals with the federal grants. So remember I said if you spend over $750,000, it's not how much you get, it's how much do you spend. So, but if you spend over $750,000, then we have to do some additional compliance test work over those federal grants. And the first thing that all these grants say is, auditors, does your client have written policies and procedures over these grants? And so probably 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. And maybe we have some, but they don't cover everything. And maybe what we do have is old and maybe somewhat outdated. So it's not a big issue if you're below the 750,000. I mean, technically you should, but we're not going to ask because we don't have to. It's just once you get over 750,000, we ask. And so that could be in here as an official or formal comment, but maybe a little grace would be welcome here, so we didn't. But just know it is an issue, and it's not just your purchasing. That's where everybody's mind goes, and that's the biggest area probably. But there's probably 12 compliance requirements that can apply to a grant. And you have to, and purchasing is one of them, but there's 11 others that you also would need written policies and procedures over. And you don't have those at all. So again, just know, hey, if ARPA came and went and COVID came and went, and hopefully we never have that again, we'll never meet this threshold, I wouldn't mess with it. But, and I don't know where you are now, but clearly I think if you are gonna periodically meet that threshold, then you need to mess with it and need to get some policies and procedures written. So, that's it. There's one final report. This is just, we call it, or I call it, a required communication letter. I am required to give this to the governing body, and there's 6 or 7 bullet points in here that you might find interesting, maybe, probably not, but you might. But there's really nothing in here that I think I need to go over with you. Just know it's here, and just if in your spare time you want to read it, certainly, but I won't take time here. So that's my report. So any questions, comments?
Would the outstanding checks ever properly be exceeded to the state? Do municipalities do that?
You know, I wish I had an answer. I don't. I've heard by people that would know, or I would think should know, I've heard 3 different answers.
Okay.
I've heard, well, all you have to do is put it in the newspaper and run a list, and if no one claims it, they're yours. And then I've heard, well, you need to give it to the state. And then I've heard, well, they're just utility deposits, and so you do something else with those.
Okay.
So honestly, that's why, if somebody ever figures it out and tells me, I will go tell everybody else in the state.
Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to declare a true emergency exists due to lack of hot water in both laboratories and showers located within the police department, necessitating the replacement of both hot water heaters pursuant to Article 14, Section 3 of the City of Chickasha Charter, and waive the competitive bidding requirements, Article 14, Section 3 of the City of Chickasha Charter due to true emergency vital health and welfare of the citizens of the city, and authorize the expenditure to Greg Gardy Plumbing in the amount of $4,900.
I make a motion that we approve item 6B as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Jim, is this, I mean, $4,900, is this what we talked about a few days back about going to increase your spending limit so something like this can be taken care of and not having to go to city council? Or no, this is still something that have to go to city council?
Yes, this is currently a requirement from our charter.
Okay, so this is a charter issue.
Yes.
I just feel like stuff like this, this, I don't know when this happened, but it could have been taken care of a lot quicker than having to come to us. So how do we change that? That'd be a vote of the people, right, to change that
Let's be
section of the
voting
charter?
people, and we're gonna talk about putting something on at the election in March, when council election.
Okay.
Put an item there that can address this issue.
How long has it been out? Does anybody know? Well, Chief, you probably know.
It's been fixed, I think. I think it's been fixed.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, would you repeat?
When did the hot water heaters go out, Chief?
About 8 days ago.
Okay, so you guys have been without hot water for at least 8 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Evelthwaite? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 6C, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve resolution number 2025-24R to authorize the publication of public sale and public auction pursuant to 64 OS Section 1081 and 1082 for oil and gas mining leases for oil and gas development covering the legal properties in Section 28 and Section 33, Township 7 North, Range 7 West, and more specifically set forth in the resolution.
Make a motion that we approve resolution number 2025-24R as presented.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Abstain.
Southard?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Evelthwaite? Yes. Grayson?
Yes. Item 6D, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the 2025 Festival of Light Agreement for usage of Shannon Springs Park and authorize the mayor to execute the same.
Make a motion that we approve the 2025 Festival of Light Agreement for usage of Shannon Springs Park and authorize the mayor to execute the same.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, would anybody be able to speak to, are we duplicating last year's agreement? Do we know if there's any single change to this agreement versus what would have been approved a year ago?
I think it's relatively the same agreement. Mr. Cal?
I know we reviewed the lease, both the Festival of Light Board and the city. If there were any changes, it might have been correcting a grammatical error or something along those lines. I'm not aware of any significant changes.
City, Jim, or this Jim? I'm sorry. Mr. Crosby, you aware of
To
any
the best of my
changes?
knowledge, there's no changes to the contract that we had the previous year. Are they moving along the same line?
I'm with Jim. I don't think there's anything that we changed except for dates on it.
Okay.
So
Yes, I reviewed last year's and this year's, and the only thing that changed was the dates.
Susan, thank you. Spencer, thank you. Jim, and Jim, thank you.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Alexander?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. Item 6E, discussion, consideration, and possible action to authorize the purchase of a rotary four-post lift for the amount not to exceed $20,534.50 from Marshall Auto Supply LLC using state contract number SW0307A.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Burris?
Yes.
Southard?
Yes.
Irving?
Yes.
Ginn?
Yes.
Hebblethwaite? Yes. Smith?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Grayson?
Yes. 6F, discussion, consideration, and possible action to authorize the purchase of a Big Tex 3X PH equipment trailer, the amount not to exceed $28,808 from Great Western Trailers using state contract number SW0198.
Make a motion, we approve 6F as presented.
Second.
Discussion.
Omar, can you talk to us about this? Did it say in our packet a new trailer was needed because whatever it's replacing was not adequate for a certain piece of equipment we have? And I just wondered, can you tell a little more about what that situation is?
So the equipment trailer that we have currently, it was, somebody built it there at Public Works, and that's kind of what we've been using.
Okay.
To haul our heavier equipment. It's not rated for what we have now, and the 88 that we purchased is slightly heavier, and it's barely able to carry the load, and that's really not safe to put it out on the road like that.
What do you anticipate hauling on this new trailer? What piece of equipment?
The E88 Bobcat excavator that we purchased,
Okay,
and the backhoe.
okay. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Thank you, Omar.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Southard,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. 6G, discussion, consideration, and possible action to authorize the purchase of John Deere 333 P-Tier compact track loader for the amount not to exceed $103,418 from C.L. Boyd Company using Sourcewell number 011723.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Maybe, Omar, can anybody tell me, the Sourcewell process, I'm not familiar with that. Is that just a certain place like state contract on the other vehicles and stuff?
Yes, so we have three that we use, which is the state contract, Sourcewell, and then there's Byboard.
Thank you.
And they all compete, and they're all contracted through the state. They award the contracts to these companies.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Thank you, Omar. Roll call?
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6H, discussion, consideration, of possible action to appoint Siobhan Blair to the Board of Adjustments with a term not to, a term to expire June 30th, 2028.
Make a motion that we appoint Siobhan Blair to the Board of Adjustment with a term to expire June 30th, 2028.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call?
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris, Southard,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 6I, discussion, consideration, and possible action to declare a true emergency exists due to the storm drain head wall at Fourth and Ponderosa Drive, necessitating the repairs pursuant to Article 14, Section 3 of the City of Chickasha Charter, and waive the competitive bidding requirements of Article 14, Section 3 of the City of Chickasha Charter due to a true emergency vital to the health and welfare of the citizens of the city, and authorize the expenditure to Nash Construction Company amount of $42,000.
Make a motion that we declare a true emergency exists due to the storm drain head wall at 4th Street and Ponderosa Drive, necessitating the repairs pursuant to Article 14, Section 3 of the City of Chickasha City Charter, and waive the competitive bidding requirements of Article 14, Section 3 of the City of Chickasha City Charter due to the true emergency vital to the health and welfare of the citizens and of the city, and authorize the expenditure to Nash Construction Company in the amount of $42,000.
Second.
Discussion.
Where is Fourth and Ponderosa Drive?
Is this behind Jake's?
I don't think there is a Fourth and Ponderosa Drive. It's Fourth and Almar, and then Almar and Ponderosa.
If you look at it on where it runs, how it runs on the maps, it shows it to be off of Ponderosa. Ponderosa runs this way, and 4th Street runs at an angle at a turn, and it's just off to the side, straight through.
I'm kind of with John on that one. I didn't think Ponderosa touched Fourth Street.
So the service road that's right there by La Fiesta and that service road that's right there.
Where it goes between John Holt?
Yes. Right there, right in front
That's
of it.
considered Ponderosa?
That's considered 4th Street, sir.
Crazy. Well, you taught us a new name for it. Now,
And then Ponderosa obviously is one that leads over to Atwoods and all that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the southeast corner of John Holt's lot? Is that where it is?
it's basically right north of Jake's Rib.
Yeah, southeast, yes, southeast corner
Okay,
of that intersection.
gotcha. Had me confused.
Yeah, Bob would mind mine too, so.
It's not just north of Jake's Rib?
Just north, yes, it's north, yes, it's just north, just on the other side, yes,
Okay.
That's the southeast corner of
yes.
Well,
John Holt.
There's like a sewer clean out right there,
Yeah,
a tall one.
yeah, it's south of there.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got some more concerns, Mr. Mayor, about this one, and maybe that's alleviated now that, okay, if that's actually 4th Street. That was throwing me. The troubling thing is, the bid process, which I didn't know we even went out for, but I don't, would that have gone before council to go out for bids for that?
No, this is to declare an emergency, so we waive the bid process.
Yes.
Okay. So when did you call for bids? Whether it was with council knowledge or not, when did we call for bids?
So, in the process of trying to get everything done, and this is one of those projects that has, again, we've not been able to get to because of all the other projects that have happened in town.
Right.
And so once we started getting into the process of doing it there, everything else, it just, when the rains and everything that came in, so we called bidders, or we called contractors to come out and give us a bid on it.
Okay.
And so, just to keep it from clogging anything else up, because they've already bored through it, and there's already a bunch of dirt piled into it, which we've already jetted that line, those 10 ones, to try to alleviate some of that. It creates a blockage, backs it up, and we just felt like it would be an emergency. We don't want it to get into the restaurants or the residents that are further south of there.
Let me ask, does this have anything, is it impacted by the sewer drain collapse on Lacey Drive?
So-
That ties there? Because I
Yeah,
know
so a lot of
there's
that, what happens is all that washes into the storm drain, it washes down river, down the way, and it collects in the system down in the Tin Horns.
I know we had a backup that collapsed the storm drain there on Lacey Drive in between two homes.
Yes, sir.
That belongs to the city.
Yep, and we patched it up, and we're trying to get to it as well. We want to fix it properly.
Okay.
Patch jobs ain't gonna work.
Still holding concerns here with this matter. In, I guess the next one I'd like to address is we had 3 bidders, and we had a $27,400 bid, which was the lowest bid. But I'm not really finding the reason to reject that bid and then go with the next higher bid, which is $42,000.
So
And what do you feel like is left out of that?
I don't feel like they have the ability or the capability. I don't think they understand the magnitude of what they're getting into. And in looking at the bid prices, or the prices that they gave us, the quotes, is that there is no room there for them to say, hey, we're gonna need to do this, or we're gonna need to do that. Like, it would, to me, in looking at it, and my experience, it's gonna cost a lot more than $27,000. There was some talk of them using our equipment, which we told them no, and they really seemed inexperienced in what they were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, because throughout this process, obviously we want the lowest bidder, but it's lowest and best
Yes, sir,
is the key phrase there.
absolutely.
And the current emergency is because of
Because of
the
the-
temporary work that the city's done on it?
Well, it's just that everything he was talking about is everything's from the collapse of the Tin Horns further downstream or upstream. Whenever you get a bunch of dirt washing through there, it'll clog those up and it'll restrict them. And so if they get too restricted, it starts slowing down the flow of the water, and it starts backing up, and it could create a bigger problem in the future. As
Okay.
opposed to taking care of it right now, getting it done, and getting it set in so we can get everything the way it needs to be.
I'm just What's throwing me is I'm in possession of a picture that I took myself in the spring of 2022. And that's been a cratered out eyesore in our community that has looked like, oh my gosh, Chickasha doesn't have the wherewithal to fix their own streets. So the word emergency, I thought, why now?
Well, it's always been, and we've had to block the road off for the same reason. I can't keep everybody from driving in there, but people do. There was kids riding bikes around there and everything else, before we started working on this project.
The city was able to go in and replace the tin horns all along that drainage through there. In fact, this is the second phase of drainage that the city's gone there and fixed. That road has been blocked off for a good year and a half, maybe 2 years. And once the city did the repairs, and looking at the south end of it, I don't think the city had the ability to go back in and do their repairs that would be strong enough and good enough to ensure that we didn't have a problem from all that water that's coming down. Tremendous flow that comes down, though. Those pretty big tin horns that go through that area. And that's why we could probably go out and do something like that. But to get it done right, and looking at it, it felt it was time to go out and do an emergency bid, just put that head wall on there and get it fixed properly.
Well, then getting it fixed now would prevent it, all the work that we have done from being all for
Right.
nothing,
Right. Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
Any more discussion?
Just thank you for your explanations, everybody.
Thank you, Alma.
Thanks, Omar.
Thank you, Alma.
Thank you, Charlie. Roll call.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Gideon,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes, item 7, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
For adjourn, I'd like to call the Chickasha Municipal Authority to order, and a roll call, please.
Irving,
Here.
Gideon,
Here.
Hebblethwaite,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris,
Here.
Southard,
Present.
Grayson.
Here. Item 2, consent docket.
Motion to approve consent docket as presented.
Second?
Discussion.
I'd like to discuss D. Item D, are we on consent docket for the municipal authority?
Okay. The authorized staff to solicit bids for CMA 2503 elevated potable water storage tank, clean repair and Country Club Road, that one, Charlie?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. And I might have just seen a typo in there on that matter. There's a lot of paperwork with this one. I'm curious if something about this paperwork had something to do previously with the town of Ringling, because it's talking about the Ringling Municipal Authority instead of perhaps Chickasha Municipal Authority.
Well, it should be the Chickasha Municipal Authority doing this bid. This is the Country Club tank. It's the one we've had a number of leaks in, if you recall, and they have to go back and fix the leaks. They will come in and drain we need to do this work in the wintertime because it's a Country Club's essential tower. We will drain the tower, they will go in the inside, sandblast it, seal it, and then paint the tower and repair it. So, because we're trying to save the tank because it's pretty rusted. That's one of our newest tanks, by the way. But if you recall, we've had a couple of major leaks in that tank, and we want to make sure that it's fixed and fixed properly because we don't want to lose that particular tank. That's the reason it's being bid.
Jim, did you say one of our newest tanks?
I believe it is Country
On Country
Club.
Club?
I know it's one of our most essential tanks, two of the big ones that we really count on to help do pressure. I believe it. Isn't that correct, Omar? Yes. It's one of our newer water tanks.
Yeah, it's one of our newest ones that we've had in years. But it's, like you said, it's kind of, every 5 years, they're supposed to get cleaned and painted and sanded or sandblasted and everything. It had a little hole. We had to maintain it like at 146 we can't fill it up completely. Once we start filling that sucker up all the way, it starts leaking onto the houses there in the neighborhood. So this is to patch it up and fix it, make sure it's good.
We don't know any prices yet, so we're just going out to bid and see what somebody can do for us.
Yes, sir.
There seem to be some things about it were of a legal nature, like, oh, you're supposed to have this, so now we're gonna add that to it. Is there some kind of openings that will be new after we do the work that we don't have now?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question, sir.
Some kind of openings for inspection or some kind of openings for,
So once, I believe we've had it inspected already, and so right now it's just, so far it's just being patched up.
okay,
And this is in the previous years. They've just drained it, had somebody come in and patch the hole. It's not really been repaired the way it's supposed to be. And so that's what this is. As far as costs and everything else goes, I mean, I can't speak to what's gonna happen in the future, what else they're gonna find once they get in there.
Do they do these like in-ground fuel tanks where they go in and reline the tank on the inside, or?
It's something of that nature. They'll come in, and like I said, they'll go in, they'll drain the tank, they'll sandblast it or blast it, they call it, and then they'll come in and they'll fix everything,
Right.
and then they'll coat it.
You're correct. They will
Yes.
coat it, seal it, and then paint it from the outside.
Okay.
It is correct. There are some references to Ringling Municipal Authority in here, so we just need to go back and
Absolutely.
fix those. It looks like that's just cut and paste stuff. Okay?
Charlie, were you referring to where it says recommend a new 30-inch AWWA standard water access hatch?
perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's because the one we have currently, it doesn't meet the standards that it's supposed to have. And that was just a
Is this an
recommend-
outlet or that kind of hatch? Is that
From what I understand, that's how you actually access
Yeah,
the tank.
it's an inspection access.
from up top?
Inside. So they crawl through the inside of the tank.
Okay.
They crawl all the way up to the top, and then they get inside through the hatch.
Okay. And any, perhaps Mayor will see that too, some new safety aspect to helping the people climb? Will
Yeah, it's
will
just
the
like-
access always be through inside?
Yes.
Okay. Do you expect upon completion of the project that we would just have a better looking water tower? Or similar looking water tower? We will not notice very much from the outside?
No, just fresh paint.
Okay.
I mean, everything will be buttoned up and sealed the way it's supposed to. It's, they, like I said, they sandblast everything, they get rid of all the corrosion or whatever's in there, weld it up, put a plate over it, weld it, make sure all the seams are good, and then they'll coat it.
Okay. I want to thank you. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Roll call for consent docket, or we already have, we have a second?
We have a first.
We have a motion and a second, we heard discussion. Roll call.
Irving,
Yes.
Ginn,
Yes.
Hebblethwaite,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southern,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 4A, discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve resolution number 2025-25R, to authorize the publication of public sale and public auction pursuant to 64 OS Section 1081 and 1082 for an oil and gas mining lease for oil and gas development covering real property, Section 28, Township 7, North Range 7 West, and more specifically set forth in the resolution.
Make a motion that we approve resolution number
Burris, Southern,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 4B, discussion, consideration, and possible action to enter into a golf course maintenance and user agreement with the Chickasha Golf Foundation for the Chickasha Golf Course and authorize the chairman to execute the same.
I move we enter into a golf course maintenance and user agreement with the Chickasha Golf Foundation for the Chickasha Golf Course and authorize the chairman to execute the same.
Second?
Discussion.
Got some questions, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Would anybody with the city or representing probably the new matters, but I would think mostly with the city, help a citizen understand from when the city got involved with this property, and subsequently, there was people remember there was a $1.6 million purchase. I think along with that, there was sizable couple of week, maybe more, payments to the previous owner to continue maintenance. And I don't know how many of those we spent, or how would a citizen know and understand what our community has invested in this beyond those two amounts since that time? And I'll pause that and then say, well, gosh, that's in light of, I live near there. I drive 16th. I drive Country Club a lot. I drive Carolina, and I actually have some family that's on the Country Club Drive side of it and watch what's going on. And my understanding is there've been 4 very nice things happen over there since that time, and things look really nice over there. So I think we've had the Washita Valley, probably the Charlie Randall, maybe a football fundraiser, and probably the Chamber of Commerce group come golfing. But I've yet to see any public use out of the matter. But I know there's a lot being expended there, and curious to see some new equipment show up. I know there was a list of equipment from the seller, and just how would a citizen be comfortable with knowing really what has the city got invested in this? Has there been a lot of temporary employees have to come on board to work these matters, or is there some other departments that are having people pulled away to tackle this matter? Would anybody be able to speak to that and give some numbers that we can give a citizen for really what true cost is to this point?
Well, I think I can answer one of your questions, where you say that there hasn't been any public out there on it, as far as Joe Public or somebody that hasn't been involved in any of those tournaments, is because we haven't signed a lease yet, so the Golf Foundation has not been able to open the course to the public. And we as a city have not been running it as a golf course, other than to allow those entities to do those special activities that they've done. I can answer that question.
Thank you.
And Charlie, I don't think it'd be too hard to get a list of that expenditure like you're talking. It's all in the, it's all tracked. I mean, we could get you a list together, or anybody that would want to know. That shouldn't be too difficult, I wouldn't expect.
We're good for it.
Do you know how many departments we borrowed from citywide, or
How many?
how many departments have we borrowed personnel from, or expertise or equipment from?
Now, the city has gone out and fixed water leaks there, which we would do normally. If they had a water leak on a sprinkler, one of our system, we've gone out and helped them with water leaks. But we did hire some people on temporary help through agencies.
Okay.
To go out there I think we paid $16 an hour for these employees. And we maintained the greens and what have you. We put no new equipment out there. There was a piece of equipment that was going to be utilized at the airport. It was going to be, well, in fact, it was going to be declared surplus, and we took it out there and used it out to help mow when a mower broke. And that's the only piece of equipment I know was gone out there. This group that has gone out themselves on weekends. Of course, every one of these tournaments paid for the rental of the golf carts and gave us money in return to us. I think the maximum we got was $5,000 for one day. I don't know how much, you might know the amount that the football team gave, but it was a very minor. But they did pay for all the rental of the golf carts and things of that nature that were utilized. The only major cost that I know that the city was going to endure, it would be on your council agenda the next time, and that is the city has been looking at and determined that we were going to put the netting up to keep the golf balls from going out there. And that's a cost of $8,000, approximately $8,000 for that netting.
The football tournament would have produced approximately $2,200 to the city.
But everybody that had the 4 tournaments out there gave money back to the city for the golf carts and rentals, but they rent it. Now, the golf group that's been out there has been furnishing their own self volunteers. They've been going out helping to mow. They've been taking care of the greens, helping to spread fertilizer. They've been out there a bunch throughout the week and the weekends. In fact, some of those guys have been out there almost every day, about 5 days a week or 6. And there's been a lot of work, and it has improved the golf course through those people that have come out there and helped. How many hours and who they were, I'm not out there, and I don't think we keeping track, but I know Mr. D. Hart was organizing a lot of them, and like I say, they've been out there. And in fact, when we made the tour, council tour, if you recall, Mr. D. Hart was already out there, and some of the people were out there working. So there's been a lot of improvements that have been made to the course, especially on the greens and stuff, which are the most important part, and making sure that they're healthy. But as far as the actual dollar we can get, I couldn't have the faintest idea, not being out there. But we have kept the golf course, and we have paid the utilities for the building because it is our building. But it will not be our building if the lease is approved, and they will have to take over all payments of all utilities out there, except for, I think, water, sewer, and trash.
Well, I looked at it, it's not really a lease agreement, it's more of a usage agreement. We're basically allowing, we're allowing them to run the golf course for the city of Chickasha. And that's, my concern with it is how much money is it gonna generate? You know, how much revenue is it gonna generate? And where's that revenue gonna go? I know it's a non-profit organization that's running it, but where is that money gonna go? If we have extra money, is it gonna be held in account for the nonprofit for use in the future? Is it gonna be returned to the city because it's on an annual basis? So if there's money made, is that gonna be returned to the city, or what are we doing there?
There may be Mr. Brooks or somebody here could answer
Because
that
the
question.
possibility exists of this actually making money, because we're no longer paying ad valorem on that property, and you're no longer having to pay for water on the property for the people that are running it. The city's paying that water bill. So my question is, if it makes a profit, where's that money gonna go at the end of the year?
Hi, my name's Pat Brooks, and I'm one of the initial board members of the Chickasha Golf Foundation, which had our articles of incorporation filed on September 2nd. We have made our application to IRS for our 501c3 public foundation status. We have established a fiscal sponsorship fund with the Communities Foundation of Oklahoma, so that some of the supporters of this effort that want to just, write a check for a charitable community purpose can do so, because it'll be several months before we know what our exemption status is with the IRS. And the work that the city has done to preserve and that course during these summer months has been great. We as a community and they've done a good job of saving that course up to this point in time. And if this is approved, then October 1st, whether you call it a lease or a use maintenance agreement, to me, it has the same terms in it, regardless of what you call it. But the Golf Foundation will at that point take over those responsibilities, the payroll to continue to maintain it, improve it, and manage it as a golf course. You know, we saw the country club ultimately fail financially operating it, and I thought we've gone through since then 3 different private owners of that property, and ultimately unsuccessful in making it work. The Golf Foundation may very well be unsuccessful in making this work. We think we can make it successful, and it is a nonprofit effort. If there is any, you know, we have any money at the bank at the end of the year out of the operations, we have big plans on the youth practice area on the far north end. From the clubhouse, you got the parking lot, and you got the creek, and then there's that strip of land north of that we Kerry DeHart has a vision of turning that into a youth practice area for the junior high school, and college youth. So we hope to have money up front through donations to start on that. He's working on proposals and bids on that right now. But if there's any money through just the normal operations of the golf course, which is a public golf course, any of those would be used, I'm sure, toward that improvement or other improvements. It's a, you know, never-ending source of expenditures. But the, you know, our mission is to create a vibrant, inclusive public recreation facility centered around youth golf, health, and community activities. And we're willing to take a shot at this public-private effort through this use and maintenance agreement to see if we can accomplish this and operate it at least at a break even. Hopefully we can generate some revenue out of it, but that would be, you know, it's there's no members to this foundation, so any dollars just go, you know, right back into the community asset. The starting directors of the foundation are Kerry DeHart's president, Bryce Binion, and Jim Cowan, myself, and Corrine Sandra. And there's, you know, the bylaws and all are available for anybody that would like to see how it's structured as a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Well, if there's anybody that has a chance to make a profit out of it, it will be the Chickasha Golf Foundation, because, like I say, you're not having to pay a water bill and not having to.
The water is a big item.
Water's a huge item, and then taxes. Taxes were huge on that property, and now we don't have to pay taxes. So the Chickasha Golf Foundation has a great opportunity to make it a viable golf course.
And that could be the difference in being successful or not successful, having the city help with water. Now, the city, I can't remember the exact wording in there, but they're going to be watching water usage.
Right.
And if it gets to be an unreasonable amount, you know, they will be
just so
waving the red flag.
Just so the taxpayer knows, what the city's going to do is look at the water usage historically in the months of July, August, September, which are the major water usage months, and that will be the average that's used for the community supplied water from the city of Chickasha or the Chickasha Municipal Authority. Just so everybody knows that's the way it's going to go. If it exceeds that, then the Chickasha Golf Foundation is responsible for the water bill beyond that. So. It's
a, you know, we've we think, and I personally think that the council has been very wise in acquiring that property for the amount of money that you have invested in it so far, and it is going to be a jewel for this community, for our generation and the next generations, for the city to be able to control how that property gets used and developed long-term. It's just a special situation. And I hope that it will work financially as a golf course, and that at some point in the future, we can say, here's a model of how it is working and how it's paying its bills and ended up in the black each year. And at some point, the city may want to hopefully consider, here's a plan, a business plan on how it's working, and the city can step in and take it over and go forward with it if they want to. If we can't make it work financially, the cities, I can't imagine the city would want to get involved in it.
Well, I think you guys have a great shot at making it work.
It's, there's some passionate golfers in this community, and it's, the history of that 9-hole course you all are aware of, and so we're willing to try it and see what we can do. Kerry is going to start out being the general manager. He's already, interviewing people to hire and that sort of thing, but he's going to give it his best and see if we can't get this going and make it something that we can all be proud of for years to come.
The only thing I ask is that the grass behind the homes on Carolina Avenue is mowed and stays mowed down, because those people have suffered over the last several years when the previous owners failed to maintain that, and it looked like trash back there.
Yeah. Well, assuming that this youth practice area moves forward,
That'll remedy that.
That'll take care of that situation. We have a U.S. Open winner, the Orville Moody, that was back in the day was
1969.
Pat, before you go, I just have a question, and I know that pledged versus in the account are two different things, but I heard at one point you guys had a pretty good substantial amount pledged to fund this thing through the first year.
And there's two ways we're approaching it. There's, it's public course, so the public will be able to go out there and pay green fees and play. But if somebody's, wants to play a lot, there'll be a golf membership, not a foundation membership, but a golf membership that, and it's like, unless this changes, I think this is pretty well set. It's going to be $3,000 for a year, and we're wanting that to be paid up front. So that's one source of some revenue to get started. And then there are some people that have come up and said, we like what you're doing. We would love to see this course remain an asset in our community. But they're not golfers. And they're just saying, I want to be able to write a check to, since it's a city-owned course, it's open to the public, can this be a charitable donation if I write a check? And there are that source of funds too, and we're talking about some six-figure funds that have been committed on this. So that's the reason for going through the Communities Foundation of Oklahoma to set up that fiscal sponsorship fund. They are today a 501c3 public foundation, and as long as the funding through that source comes to maintain and improve this city-owned golf course, then it all works.
There was rumor that USAO was going to partner with the foundation. Did that happen or no?
No, but their golf team is going to be able to play out here just like junior high and high school, men and women. We are going to call the course Drover Hills Golf Course. And just because of the history of Chisholm Trail coming through here and the Drover Cowboys that were part of that, but the USAO knows that's what we're planning and they're all for it. They're, although they're not investing in it or putting any money into it, they like the idea of it being called Drover Hills Golf Course. Charlie?
Pat, I have a curiosity there. First off, thank you for being in the middle of a lot of community things, and you've done it for years, and I appreciate it. I have a lot of respect for it.
Thank you.
In this agreement, one thing you just go kind of in reverse order. So you're going to call it Drover Hills Golf Course, but that wasn't mentioned in the agreement or anything. And I think, oh, okay, what other things aren't mentioned in the agreement? And before you answer that, I'm on the reporting area, reporting the foundation shall provide information to the city about the usage and whatnot. And it names, on an annual basis, there'll be some reporting of the revenue from the course. It says green fees, tournament fees, and admission fees, and other charges. So as I was reading my packet, I thought, well, what could the other charges be? And I thought, well, there's got to be some sales out there. Will there be a pro shop? So there could be some sales. Will there be a bar? There could be some sales. Will there be a food aspect to it? Could be some sales. And the last two I put, will there be a pool and courts? Will there be potential revenue from those matters? And will those matters, well, are there?
Well, there's details still to be worked out on that. It's not everything that is within that agreement at this point in time. The pool, is that something that, the Golf Foundation will be responsible for, or is that something the city would like to have in conjunction with their other pool and manage those that same way? I don't, we're gonna do whatever the city wants us to do.
According to the agreement, the foundation is taking over the pool, the tennis courts, everything out there. The foundation's taking that over.
We're working right now, we have a committee working on the usage of the clubhouse for wedding receptions or whatever, and what that fee will be for if it's a weeknight or a
So
weekend.
that'll all be revenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, the attorneys say that we'll have to be aware of what's, anything that would be considered unrelated business income for a foundation is taxable at normal tax rates to the foundation. So, and I'm hoping that something like rental of the dining facility, the clubhouse out there, that's, this is city-owned property, and that's available for anybody in the community to rent, and that will be part of our business-related.
And you may decide to put in a restaurant, and that's okay too.
Do what?
You may decide to put in a restaurant, and that'd be okay too.
I don't, I think,
Good luck.
I think your starting board would run from that, but it's just never been successful as a food service business.
Pat, that's part of my question. If the agreement allowed for the foundation, who now would have charge of the facilities out there to provide food, would it always be a foundation thing, or is there a chance that an outside party, a for-profit business, would be allowed in there? I'm kind of asking that to you, Jim, too, in this agreement.
Sort of like a sublet?
Right, it just, well, the public would want to know what could be coming there, and maybe a lot of people are for it, and then they may go, oh, well, I didn't know this outfit was going to get the contract to go actually be for-profit there.
We'd just have to, if something like that started to make sense, we'd just have to get with our city manager and probably come back to you all and say, here's an opportunity, what do you want us to do with it? But I don't, I'm thinking any usage of that, it would have to be catered outdoor, outside caterers that would bring food in for class party or whatever might be used on a particular night.
Basically, the bottom line on it, Charlie, is if we do this agreement, it's out of our hands anyway. I mean, it's up to the Golf Foundation to make it go.
So you wouldn't be able to speak to now whether there could be a future tenant beyond the foundation that is a for-profit tenant on that city property?
You know, I can't think of a situation where that would come about. You know, that doesn't mean it couldn't happen. You know, let's look at the Chickasha Community Foundation that has a lease from the city municipal authority on the Arts Plaza downtown where the leg lamp is. You know, part of what we did there is renovate that old freight building there on the corner of the red roof, metal roofed, where a visitor center is today. But we just leased that, about a third of that west third of that building is the visitor center, and we have that leased to a lady that has products in there for sale relative to Chickasha and the leg lamp and USAO and that sort of thing. But and we get a monthly income on that of $650 a month. And that helps us pay the management and the maintenance and the landscaping each month, which runs $1,500 a month, plus the mowing that we do on the 6 acres all summer long. That's always been on us. That's not on the city. And we pay a third party to do all that. So it's you know, we're grateful to have the $650 a month, but it doesn't begin to cover the monthly costs that we have in maintaining that. We're looking at buying a new pump for the fountain there in the center of the Chickasha Avenue when you go into the depot area. And that's really beyond our lease but it's there. It's front and center for that end of town, and the pump periodically goes out, and so we're buying a new pump, and we want to get the electrical circuit split so that the lights on the fountain are different electrical connection than the pump itself, so when we can go in and repair the pump without having to turn the lights off. But anyhow, it's you know, we love this town, and we're doing what was right for this community to take care of those little things when they come up. We appreciate the opportunity. On that, and I'm off the subject, but we got your permission this past spring to pivot in the usage of the rest of that 6 acres. Last year we unsuccessfully worked at trying to raise the money for a recreational park, miniature train, horse stables, that sort of thing. If those of you that have been on the council a while know. And we made application to for the TSET legacy grant opportunity to put a county health wellness center there, which would be run by the county health department if we're successful. We're still in the hunt on that. We are still alive after the first stage of applications. And they had 10 in dollar amount. They had 10 times the amount of applications that they had money for. So we're feeling pretty humbled right now to even still be in the game, but that we'll know by the end of the year where we are on that. So anyhow, I've taken too much time, but
I'm going to give my thought on this deal. You know, when we bought the golf course for $1.6 million, I was against that because, you know, my people live in my district are backing into chug holes. And it was hard for me to justify spending $1.6 million to buy a golf course. But now, we own the golf course. And now that we own the golf course, we're spending money to maintain it. And this is our opportunity for the city to not have to maintain it anymore, other than pay the water bill. We've had to stay after it to keep it from going to pasture, because we saw what happened at River Bend. As soon as it quit being a golf course, it instantly had cattle on it because it made a great pasture. And this is our opportunity to have a nice golf course, an opportunity for us to have somebody with the ability to run the golf course and possibly make a profit and to still keep the golf course. I mean, I have a long history out there. I mean, I caddied for Red Ivy for 5 years. I played in that golf tournament, the Washita Valley, for 5 years. I was a member of the country club. And now that we have it and we have an opportunity to have somebody take it over, I'm all for it. I mean, I wasn't for buying it. I thought it was silly that we spent that kind of money. But now that we do own it, we need to take care of the business. So that's my 55 cents I just throw in there.
I want to say too, I'm appreciative of the work and the passion that you guys have put into doing this. Just like you said, so many people have volunteered time and a lot of effort out there just to keep it maintained. It is a beautiful property. I live right next to there and with so much potential, and I'm really glad to see it's being opened up for the youth and for the college to be able to use. That's something that not everybody's really felt is welcome there. I feel like there's a lack of recreational activities for a lot of youth in our community, and that helps. It's really helping to fill that void, and it's opening up for everybody, the inclusivity of everybody in the city being able to use that, and I like that. The people behind it, like I know that you're not in this to get rich. I know it's not something you're going out with a vision on, and so you're taking just a chance, a lot more headaches for you guys. I understand that, but I appreciate you taking that risk and putting back, donating your time and efforts back into our community, and appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd like to echo the thanks for the work that's been done and the fundraising and all of those things and the community that's come together. I think having been out at the Valley this year and then at the football fundraiser as well, I've had more conversation with citizens about the golf course, or citizens reaching out to me and talking to me about wanting the golf course to stay open than in any other item that's come before council since I've been in this seat. And watching the football tournament, I can speak to specifically for no other tangible reason than there was a threat that the course was going to be closed, and it may not be because the city stepped in, and then they got to play it again in the football tournament. We had double the entries that we typically have, twice as many as we've ever had in that tournament. So I just think that speaks to how passionately this community feels about the course staying open and being run as a course.
And I hope that we are back here at some point. Just like you said, John, at first you didn't necessarily agree with it, but you don't know what it could turn into with having a little bit of vision. I hope we have to come back here in a year and a half and say, hey, everybody's wanting this, and we're wanting a restaurant, and we're wanting that'd be a good problem to have, I think.
I do like the fact that we're focusing on the youth.
Yep.
Because, I was a junior high golf coach here in Chickasha. And I could never get my players on the course because of the chiselers running around like it was the Indianapolis 500. And now it'll be under control where, that's not happening, where the kids can get in there and be able to practice.
Well, thank you. Gary Dehart wanted to be here tonight. He had to be out of town, and so he asked me to come in and cover for him. But thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Mr. Mayor, could we ask Amanda something regarding that matter of, would this agreement allow, as written, if approved, a for-profit entity to make profits on this property?
John, and I was actually going to say something about that, but yes, we can surely ask Amanda on the item 3, permitted use. And again, I'm sure interpretation is in play here. Talks about the foundation and what they'll be using the property for. but there is a blurb that says, "No other use is permitted without prior written consent of the Chickasha Municipal Authority." About 3/4 way down in that paragraph. So again, I think that applies to if they want to bring in an outside for-profit entity, they'd have to have written permission from us to do so.
That's correct.
What part of the paragraph, Mr. Mayor?
About 3/4 way down, you'll
Permitted
see,
use?
yeah, you'll see capitalized CMA and.
No other use is permitted. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no
about-
other use is permitted without prior written consent of the Chickasha Municipal Authority, which is us.
May I also make a note that it also provides that any revenues are used exclusively for the operation, maintenance, improvement, and support of the property and the activities conducted thereon.
So it has to stay in it.
Correct.
Well, help me if I'm wrong. Communities such as our municipality really don't profit. We have revenues and we have expenses. Sometimes there's more revenue than expenses, but we really don't call that profit because it's not taxable. Is that correct? And maybe a foundation wouldn't either. But 2 sentences above that, I believe it says, such facilities may include golf tournaments, lessons, community events, court sports, walking trails, food and beverages.
But that's in reference to the foundation's use,
That's correct.
not anybody's use. It's specifically to their use.
I guess what I'm trying to kind of pin down there, is there an idea in this agreement that go, hey, once that's approved, the foundation will have the opportunity to sublease to a for-profit?
I don't see where that language is in there.
That would have to
be a
come
matter
back
for
before the council if they wanted to do that.
With some type of different agreement.
Correct.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very welcome. Not to take John's thunder, so I'll give my 50-cent opinion on this, not 55-cent.
Come on, get 56 cents.
But, you know, and like Erica, I've had a lot of conversation with citizens over this matter, more so than most, minus the schmake-schmap, I won't talk about that. But, you know, the main concern from most citizens that had concerns were that the city was just subsidizing, you know, for the 1% to have a playground. And I completely understand that sentiment and the optics of that. But I'll give you what the conversation I've had with those. And, you know, from day one, and it's in the Express Star made it public, and I've had several comments on Facebook. From day one, I was about saving that 70 acres of green space, not necessarily running it as a golf course. Because I didn't think that there would ever be a time where the city itself would be able to have 70 acres of green space in that area. So that was the main reason, I believe, when Jim brought me the idea that we went for it, was to save that space. Now, the golf course, would I like to see it stay a golf course? Of course. Yeah, I said that right. Of course. Does the city have any business running it? Absolutely not. And every mayor or city manager that I talked to that has been to the golf course, they told me to run if we were the ones going to have to operate it. So when this arrangement, kind of reared its head, and a group of concerned citizens got together and wanted to not only put their own skin in the game, but take the lead on running such an organization, it got me thinking about my experience, because I used to own a restaurant on a golf course down in Duncan. And so I got to thinking about my experience there, and that's why I said good luck on the food and beverage. But the main takeaway that I want to talk about was that golf course did a very good job of the youth, getting the youth involved. They would bus directly over from the high school and junior high. You'd see them get off, and it wasn't the haves or the have-nots. It was a hodgepodge group of everybody who wanted to play the game. Right. And not only did they want to play the game, they wanted to be coached. And so you'd have experienced golfers, you'd have the pro, you'd have the assistant pro, but then you'd just have the golfers that spend a lot of time there. They'd be out there coaching the youth and teaching them a new skill or a new stroke or how to. I'm not a golfer, as evident by the amount of fish I killed at the chamber tournament with the balls that went in there. But I understand the importance of golf course, not only to the community's youth, but the community in general, but also the symbolization it has. When you go around the different parts of the state, at least my reaction is, I'm going to a place I've never been, and somebody says, well, they have a golf course. I'm like, oh, really? It's not really, oh, I'm impressed. It's like a signifier that, okay, there's a little substance to this community. You know, if they have a golf course, there's something else there. There's something clicking, right? And so that's kind of the takeaway I take. And, you know, I get the optics of it, but I'll be the first one to say that was not the reason that I did it. I can only speak for myself. But the opportunity has made itself known where an organization wants to do it, and I'm all for it. I hope they succeed. I hope they get the youth involved. I hope that, I hope I get better at golf. But I hope that, it engages the kids in another thing to do besides Xbox and run the streets. It is an outdoor activity that no matter, because I'm overweight and out of shape and I can still swing a golf club, right? So it's a pretty inclusive sport, and no matter your skill level or your athleticism, you can play.
That's right.
And I think that's so important about, especially the youth, because we have so many kids that feel excluded from things.
Yes.
And like they can't do well. They don't run fast enough to play football or shoot well enough to play basketball, but they can hit a golf ball into the pond like I can, promise you.
I don't want to steal your thunder.
You gonna give a 60-cent opinion now?
Yes, because I do hold the record. I took a 17 on number 3 in the Washita Valley. So, there you go.
So that's my opinion, even though, I
put a stroke limit on it.
don't play golf and I don't foresee my future involving that. I do understand the importance it has in our community and any community that it's in. I understand the impact it has, the potential impact for the youth. And I encourage, since it is going to be a public golf course, you come out and play the day, I encourage all our citizens to go out there and check it out, whether you play golf or just drive a cart or go walk or, kill a fish or two by hitting the ball in the pond.
Mr. Mayor, that's very good, but I do have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Could you give any assurances to some of the public that are concerned about the out-of-bounds golf balls, the off-the-property golf ball matters? That I don't think we've discussed that unless I've overlooked it or didn't see it in the
Discuss
agreement.
it, we're spending $8,000 to put up a net.
We should see an agenda item, first meeting in October about putting up that net. The city is going to do that.
And
We're doing it ourselves.
I'm not going to play till that net's up.
And that net would go up before play would begin again? Do we have an assurance of that?
I don't think so.
They just talked about the price.
I will make sure, I'll ask that we get the net up before they start play.
Thank you both.
But if, I also know somebody in this room that has a bunch of golf balls for sale, if anybody is
Cheaper by the dozen?
Buckets and buckets.
I will say, I was at the golf course, when the firefighters had a barbecue a couple, how many weeks ago was it, Chief? About 3 weeks ago. A couple of the firefighters that are golfers said that they hadn't seen that course look that good in years
Great.
and stuff, so kudos to our city employees that's been helping, as well as Mr. DeHart's and Price's and everybody's part in that, because it does look very nice to drive by there.
We have a motion, a second. Any more discussion? Roll call.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Kinn,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 5, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
We're adjourned. I'd like to call the Chickasha Municipal Airport Authority to order. Roll call, please.
Irving,
Here.
Kinn,
Here.
Evelyn,
Here.
Smith,
Present.
Alexander,
Here.
Burris.
Here.
Southard,
Present.
Grayson.
Here. Item 2, consent docket.
Motion to approve consent docket is presented.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Kinn,
Yes.
Evelyn,
Yes.
Smith,
Abstain.
Alexander,
Yes.
Burris,
Yes.
Southard,
Yes.
Irving,
Yes.
Grayson.
Yes. Item 4, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you.